What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm finally back with a cycle update. This is not going to be a good video for anybody who has not been following along with this particular cycle. You're going to have no clue what's going on. So I'm going to link at the end of the video the first video that you would want to watch, because you may be coming to this title. You may be coming to this video because of the title. So if that's the case, you need to just fucking go to the end and get caught up, because you're going to be in the dark. So first of all, I got a lot to cover today. So first of all, the reason that I haven't been making videos for the past few days is I'm pretty sure I have COVID. I have spent the vast majority of the time over the course of the past 3 days asleep. I cannot stay sitting up right for more than half an hour at a time. I have no fever. I have the cough, the body aches and shit. But like, I feel basically fine. Obviously, honestly, I feel totally normal, except for I can't sit up for more than like half an hour. I slept 19 hours out of 24 hours day before yesterday. I just got out of bed again. I've been sleeping almost non-stop. Like, I'll get up, maybe I'll make it at 45 minutes, an hour, get up. I've basically just been getting up, eating, going back to bed. I did train in the middle of this, and so that's the first thing I'm gonna be transparent about. Because the cycle has been going so fucking good, as you're getting ready to find out. I didn't want to let this stupid bug, whatever I have, negatively affect the cycle. And so I had no energy to go to the gym, and my wife was like, "Are you gonna make it?" And I was like, "Fuck, I don't know." And I just fucking went and took 10 milligrams of Anavar and pounded a fucking monster, and was like, "Woo! Here we go." So that's how I got to the gym. I just fucking ate 10 milligrams of Anavar, popped an energy drink, and that gave me enough energy to go to the gym. I hit a savage fucking chest day, and that was the day that I recorded my last progress update, where I told you that I was up to 204 pounds. So I'm now on day 10 of taking MK677. The majority of those days, I have taken 20 milligrams per day in 2 10 milligram doses. A couple of those days, I only took 1 10 milligram dose. As of last night, I am setting fucking records on a daily basis. I am now up to 206.2 pounds in the evening, which is the biggest I have ever been in life by 6 pounds at a minimum. So every day is like fucking Christmas Day around here. I have been stuck below 200 for a little over 2 years now. I had basically given up all hope that I would ever be able to get above 200. MK677 has been nothing short of a fucking godsend. I am ravenous. I'm eating everything in sight. I've never consistently been able to eat this much. But the thing that is so amazing is, you've seen from some of these videos that I updated, like I posted a couple of shorts, because people are like, "Oh, you're just a water balloon." No, I'm not. I'm not a fucking water balloon, guys. As you saw, if you haven't seen, look at my shorts list. My fucking calves are diced to the bone. Crazy vascularity in my calves, crazy cuts in my calves, so I have no lower leg edema. I think some of you guys don't seem to fucking understand. There's one idiot in my comments again, like it's like I replaced one and now I've got another fucktard. Edema is swelling extracellular water. Like, if I had edema, you would see it around my calf muscle and around my ankles. So again, I'm not saying that it's not intracellular water. I'm not saying that. I have now gained 16.2 pounds in 10 days. That is the most rapid weight gain I have ever experienced in life, by a long shot. So I suspect, and I said this in a comment to one person, when they're like, one guy was like, "This is suspect," when he looked at one of my shorts, because I'd gone from, like, I think it was the 190 to 204 short or some shit. And he's like, "Oh, this suspect." And I'm like, no, it really isn't suspect. And the reason it's not suspect is because you have to look at everything in context. So when I cut down to 190, it was because I was basically fucking crash dieting. For whatever reason, when I started the trend, it just fucking hammered my appetite. In hindsight, I now don't know whether it was the trend or the fact that I had crashed my estrogen that was fucking up my appetite. Because I have a lot of things going on in my life right now all at once with my hormones. So it's really not fair to try to point the finger at any one thing, because I didn't know at the time that my E2 was either A, in the toilet, or B, all blocked by the serum activity of Masteron. So what we do know, regardless of how it happened, what definitively did happen is that I was in basically somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 calorie a day deficit, and I basically just crash dieted from 200 down to 190 in the period of 2 weeks. So just like any pro bodybuilder, I'm not a pro bodybuilder, but anybody who crash diets to like get on stage and is eating in a massive deficit, even if they just go back to eating normal calories, they're gonna experience a rebound effect. And so I think that 2 or 3 things happened that led to this weight gain. One, I crash dieted, and so my body was just looking for anything to fucking absorb. And so when suddenly I go from 1,000 calorie a day a deficit to possibly 1,000 or more calorie a day surplus, my body just rebounded. So it just started sucking up all of these nutrients, which of course pushed glycogen and water into all of the muscle fibers all over my body, and just reinflated my physique that was looking extremely dry. If you look at the difference in the shorts, from 190 and 205 or whatever it is, 204, you see that I still have extreme vascularity all over my upper body. Like, I've just got veins everywhere. But they're definitively a little bit less shrink wrap looking. And they still look freaky, but if you get, like, I have 3 monitors, and so I brought my wife in here, and I put the shorts up side by side where you can really, and I moved the time stamp to where I was hitting like basically the same pose in each one. And the veins in my shoulders at 191 versus 204 they're just sharper, you know, like I'm more diced. I'm clearly a little more dry. It's not a huge difference. You have to look, you know, like if you look at one video one day and in the next video, you probably wouldn't know. But so there is some water on the outside of my frame, definitively. Not enough to cause me to lose any vascularity. It's still all very apparent. So I think that is caused by the fact that my estrogen was crashed. So if you take into consideration crash diet, crash estrogen, and you're basically leaner than your body really wants to be, you're kind of in an unnaturally lean state, then you add in a whole bunch of fucking calories and you get your E2 coming back up, obviously there's going to be a rebound effect. So I think that is in part what happened. The reason I say that's in part what happened is because for one, I'm definitely not getting fat. So I've been checking with calipers all around my fucking abdomen, lower back, and I'm not putting on just, you know, like a bunch of fat tissue. My abs are still, all 6 abs are still very visible, but my biceps have started to grow. So my biceps are now the biggest they've ever been. They were just shy of 18¼ inches the other day after that was the other day after 2 days. Last night I measured them. So I haven't been to the gym in 2 days because I had my son's birthday party last night, and the night before that was a day off. So with 2 days out of the gym, my arms are measuring anywhere between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch bigger than they have ever been in life. Okay, so that's not rebound. That's not gains back to a state of normalcy. That is gains above and beyond the biggest I have ever been in life. So last night I clocked in at 206.2 pounds. I can't remember if I said that earlier. So I'm putting on basically a pound a day, give or take at this point, a pound every day and a half. And the weight is continuing to go on. My strength and endurance in the gym, of course, is phenomenal. And finally, last night and today, I got the first signs that my estrogen is coming back. So I'm going to talk about that for a minute because that was a big topic in one of my other videos. I did some combination of blocking and crashing my estrogen. So I underestimated the power of Masteron, and when I lowered my test to 200 and I had Masteron at 300, over a 6-week period of taking 1.5 milligrams a day of Arimidex plus the Masteron, I managed to knock my fucking estrogen in the toilet. Full-blown low estrogenic side effects. I was kind of hoping that was what was causing all this lethargy, but I don't think that I don't think you can blame low estrogen on sleeping fucking 19 hours a day. Like, something else is going on. The fact that my parents had COVID makes me think it's not the estrogen. So what I did to try to get my estrogen back is I asked the audience, and I got a lot of different opinions, and a lot of the opinions were try to get it back up as quickly as possible, do something like take a D-ball, take a big shot of HCG. I decided to be more conservative with it because, like, I was already in the midst of a full-blown estrogen crash. The damage I was doing to my marriage was really already done, and once I had identified what was going on, then the damage to my marriage became less, because I was at least able to be like, holy shit, this is my fault, this is not her fault, and stop, you know, effectively assaulting my wife verbally and blaming her for all of the you know, all the shortcomings and problems that I had been feeling, because the estrogen just makes me absolutely not care at all. It's uncanny how just, like, my wife has just been gone. She's just disappeared as a human being in this house since my estrogen has been in the toilet. And so at that point, the thing that I absolutely didn't want to do was rebound my estrogen. I didn't want to make it go from low to suddenly really high, because then I'll get gyno and then I'll freak out and I'll try to knock it back down again, and we're going to be in this up and down terrible battle for God knows how long. So what I decided to do is to try to bring it up in a controlled manner. So I went up to 300 milligrams a week of testosterone from 200. So I increased my testosterone dose by 100 milligrams per week, and I took all of the Arimidex out of my protocol. So I'm almost at I guess I've missed 2 Arimidex doses now, I think. Maybe I'm coming up, I can't remember. So I took the Arimidex out, I increased the testosterone, and I increased my HCG dose by a very, very small amount. Like, I usually take 500 IUs twice a week, and I think I bumped it up 10 units, which makes for about, I don't know, 625 IUs twice a week. And I did that because I knew that would be a little bit faster acting on the E2 side. And so last night was the first night since my E2 went in the toilet that my wife and I were able to have anything even approaching healthy, normal sex. And it was a massive relief to be able to function again, to be able to recognize that I was actually having sex with a human being and not a doll that I was just using for the purposes of finishing, which is what it had felt like for like 10 days prior to that. So like we actually kissed and cuddled and touched. It was crazy. This has not been happening, and I've been trying to be very, very candid with her in our post-sex debriefing that I told you we have, and telling her, like, sorry, I know that probably felt terrible. I can't find you emotionally. I can't. And she's like, I know, I can tell. And so, like, I've been trying at best to not ever leave her in the dark, so that when we have bad sex or when we have disconnected experiences, she doesn't have to wonder, is she doing something wrong? Like, I've been trying to be transparent and going, yep, it's still me. Yep, you're doing nothing wrong. Yes, I cannot feel you. I don't know why. My body has completely betrayed me. It's just the power of estrogen is uncanny. It's like the joke that it's kind of like the joke that Dave Chappelle told. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this probably, about Bill Cosby. I'm not gonna replay the whole thing, but it was something to the effect of how he rapes, but he saves, and he saves more than he rapes. It's like that's how estrogen is. It's like, you know, the right amount of estrogen is massively important for you to function as a human being at all. So it has some really good qualities. And it's just that if you have too much of it and you're sensitive to it, it can cause you a whole host of terrible, horrible, negative side effects. And it just so turns out that the side effects of it being too low are, in my estimation, far worse than the side effects of it being too high. I mean, I don't want to have to get gyno surgery, but god damn it. If it's a choice between gyno surgery and the end of my fucking marriage because I cannot function as a human being, I'll take the surgery. Like, clearly. I'll take the fucking water weight, the bloat, you know, like, you know, I've been like this proponent of maintain your estrogen in really low levels, and I still believe that to be true. A lot of you guys keep talking to me about this Todd Lee guy. Honestly, I had never heard of him until the last this last period where I've been making all these videos. His name keeps coming up, and I watched this video that he did with Kurt Haven or something, and you know, they seem like intelligent guys, but you know, from my estimation of the video, there was kind of like a whole lot of using $10 words and never actually getting to any true causal factor. You know, like they sit around and they talk about this thing binds to estrogen receptor B, and this thing's hepatotoxic because there's a methyl group on the third prime carbon. But every time, like, for example, that Todd Lee asks Kurt Havens any like direct question, he doesn't have an answer. It always just goes back to, well, we don't really know why it works. And so it's like cool to listen to these guys who have way more of a medical background, I guess, than I do. And they use a lot of big words and like fancy fucking descriptors for what Primo's doing and what Masteron is doing and what all these things are doing in the body. But at the end of the day, it's like a slightly higher understanding of the chemistry, but no better understanding of the why, which is all that really matters. Like, the why is all that matters. So like, we can sit around and we can feel like intellectuals all day long, and we can talk about, you know, the opposing receptors and stereoisomers, and we can talk about the 13 metabolites of primobolan, and we can impress each other with all of our fucking acumen about all the chemistry of these various different compounds. But at the end of the day, when the actual question comes out, why is primobolan less toxic than 17 alpha alkylated winstrol? And they're like, well, I don't know. And it's like a whole bunch of maybes. Well, that doesn't put you anywhere better off than the average bro. Like, every bro knows that fucking winstrol is fucking liver toxic. It's the why that fucking matters, you know? It's the why, like, so there's a lot of like postulating and not a lot of knowing. And this is what we see common in the bodybuilding community, is that at the end of the day, everybody's still trying to figure this out. Like, I was directed to their videos because there was supposed to be some highly enlightening information about Masteron, and again, it didn't seem to really go anywhere. Maybe I didn't find the right video, but they just talk in circles about a whole bunch of maybes that I already fucking knew. Like, maybe it's a SERM. Maybe it blocks a receptor. Maybe in some people it has some interaction with aromatase. Maybe, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares about the maybes? What does it do? If you don't know exactly what the fuck it does, then all of the data that you're yammering on about is fucking useless. So what I know from my personal experience is that taking 300 milligrams of Masteron with 200 milligrams of Test E fucked up my estrogen. And so what I'm now going to know is exactly how much test I have to have in my body to offset Masteron. So at the end of this experiment, I'm going to know this is what I need. No one apparently knows the whys. So anyway, I digress from that. I tried to sit through the stuff, and some of it was interesting, but most of it just seemed like, I don't know, a whole lot of circle jerk, but whatever. Yeah, there's my take on that. So it was totally unscripted and off the cuff. So my estrogen is finally coming back. So estrogen, I'm feeling massively better in everything in this cycle. With the exception of the fact that now I'm spending vast majority of my time in bed. The fact that I'm up to 206.2, again, if I wasn't as half dead as I am right now, I would probably be throwing a fucking party in this house. The MK has me eating in a way that I've never been able to sustainably eat in my life. Again, to reiterate, it has made me enjoy the taste of food, to crave food, to look forward to food. I'm diversifying my diet, and so that's probably another really fucking monumental, pivotal thing for a bodybuilder, is because, you know, I tend to eat the same boring things over and over again, which is not really good at all for covering, you know, all of your micronutrients and macronutrients. And when you just try to like fucking live on this one boring diet, and now I'm eating just a variety of things and in substantially greater quantities. And so I feel better overall. In some ways I don't feel good at all, however. I'm now, from my height, when I get to 210 pounds, if I should get there, my BMI will officially put me into the obese category. And I am definitely feeling the body weight. My breathing is more labored, it seems, with every pound that I gain. Just moving my frame around in the bedroom is more difficult. I definitely feel the extra weight on my frame. But admittedly, for the first time in 2 years, I'm growing above baseline. And there's a feeling that you get in your body when you're growing. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like when I go take a power nap, like, you know, bodybuilding naps are like the most rewarding naps in the world. You know, like when you're on cycle and you're training really hard and you're taking a lot of fucking gear and you're in this growth phase and you go lay down and you take a nap, and it's like the most rewarding nap you'll ever take, because you know that nap is super productive. Like you can take a nap and it's almost like you can feel, it's almost like you can feel your body like building muscle, as if it was like Minecraft, like stacking blocks into muscle tissues in little lines. You can almost feel it in your body. There's almost like this tingle, or I don't know how to really explain it. And it feels very different than if you're just taking a nap because you're being a lazy fuck. And so when you take like a bodybuilding nap after intense training with calorie, you know, you get a full belly and then you've got all the gear in there, and you go lay down and you get some rest, and it's like you can feel yourself actively growing. And then when you get up and you see that, you know, like then you start seeing the results on the scale, and you start seeing the results when you're taping off your body and taking all these measurements. It's a really empowering feeling, and I haven't had that for so long. It's like I said, I've been trapped in the 197 to 200 pound range for like fucking 2 years. And so growing again has just been super exciting, and it's giving me this crazy sense of hope, you know, like it's making me believe. And I'm making this video, and I'll never, now that I'm being positive about it, watch, I'll be stuck at 206 for the rest of my fucking life. But it's giving me hope for the first time that, like, man, you know, I found another gear. How high can we go? You know, like I've got to 206.2. Can we get to 210? 220? 230? Like, where can we go with this? I think that's probably highly unlikely, but because the gains are so clean, because the weight is still going up and I'm not watching my abs disappear, it just gives me this intense level of excitement, because usually by the time I gain 5-10 pounds, I'm starting to panic because I'm noticing that the gains are not as clean as I want them to be. And so clearly what we have going up here is lean body mass. And that was one of the interesting things that Stan Lee, oh, that's why I originally started talking about Stan Lee, now that I mention it. He actually, basically in one of his videos said the same thing that I say about guys maintaining high levels of estrogen, is that, you know, if you let your estrogen be relatively high, like, you know, 40 or 60 or 80, he was even talking about, like, you're gonna have more gains. He admitted that, like, you're going to gain more weight. But by his own admission, he did not say it was that you were gonna gain more skeletal muscle mass. He said in his video, you will gain more lean body mass. And those two things are very distinct. Skeletal muscle mass is contractile tissue. Lean body mass is skeletal muscle tissue plus water, plus intracellular water. And so, yes, I have never denied the fact that you can take fucking D-ball or you can take wet compounds and let your estrogen get out of control, and you can gain 30 fucking lean pounds on a cycle. But you're going to lose a lot of that because the only reason you're retaining all of that water is because of the high estrogen and because of, the nitrogen retention and a lot of things that are going on in this at a cellular level during a cycle is going to allow you to push all of this water and nutrients into your muscle fibers and unnaturally inflate them. So while you may not be inflating your whole body like a water balloon, you are still inflating the contractile tissue. And so if you go get a DEXA scan and you go, see, I put on 30 pounds and it's not fat, it's lean body weight. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. If that's the look you're going for, then fine. I want the trend look. I want the fucking grainy lines in my fucking delts. Like, I want the muscle separation. I want to see that line in between my upper and lower pecs. I want to see sharp cut abs. Like, I basically kind of just want to be near stage ready my whole life. I don't ever want to look like, honestly, like I'm starting to look now. I'm getting too much water in my muscles, but I'm gonna roll with it because I want to see how high I can get my body weight. But admittedly, if some of this weight gain is coming from higher estrogen levels, then it's not the clean mass that I'm usually talking about. And so when I have clients that are reaching out to me and they're going, hey, I want to look more athletic, or I want to look more shredded and ripped like you, and I'm telling them, then fucking knock your estrogen fucking down out of the stratosphere, and a lot of them start rejecting that because it's like, oh, but I'm going to gain less. Yes, you're going to gain less. You're going to weigh less, but you're going to fucking look better. So you have to decide, what are you after here? Are you after a specific look, or are you after a fucking number on the scale? And that's why I made the analogy that D-ball, wet, high estrogen gains are kind of the bodybuilding equivalent of ego lifting. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, you bench pressed, 500 pounds, but your form was totally shit, and that would never even count as a fucking rep. And you just stressed your fucking joints for absolutely no reason. Like, do you want to do that? Or do you want to fucking get a clean, nice, fucking 475 bench? Like the ego lifting is decidedly bad. And I think ego gains in a lot of ways, if you're doing them long term, are just not good in general. Like, it's not real weight. That's how we can have Regan Grimes go to I think it was the Romania Pro, and fucking drop 30 pounds in 2 days to make weight and finish. And I think he was going to go open, and then he decided to go classic at the last minute. Had to just drop a massive ton of weight. And so he just diureticked himself down like 30 pounds, and it was something crazy. It was like 2 fucking days. That tells you how he had 30 pounds of intracellular water on his fucking frame. That's how he was able to do that. And so, like, ultimately, it's whatever you want to look like. That's just not the look that I prefer. So, there you have it. So anyway, it was good that I'm clearly not the only one saying this. So like, when you guys come to me and you're like, I think that I'm supposed to have my estrogen higher because so and so says that I'm supposed to. The other well-educated names in the bodybuilding community are saying the same thing that I'm saying. That, yeah, you're going to gain more, but and it's going to be lean body mass, but it's not fucking contractile tissue. You're not missing out on contractile tissue gains from keeping your estrogen in the normal range. I'm telling you definitively, you're not missing out on those gains, because I gained 60 pounds of fucking contractile tissue in 3 years' time with my estrogen in the fucking range. That's why that's why I got stuck where I'm at, So anyway, I digress. I'm like becoming this like Karen for fucking estrogen. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Your estrogen is too high. I'm watching you. You look like a water balloon. Do whatever the fuck you guys want, man. I'm probably good. I'm probably either at or near that stage right now, because like I said, there's no way for all these gains that I'm making to be contractile tissue. But please don't confuse like ankle swelling with, don't confuse edema with intracellular water. Those two things are not the same. So 300 milligrams of Tren E, 300 milligrams of Test E. 300 milligrams of Masteron E, 2 IUs of growth hormone per day, 10 milligrams of MK677 twice per day. That is the cycle that we're on. I'm still taking cabergoline at 0.75 milligrams per week. I have taken all of the Arimidex out of my system, and I'm going to be running HCG at like 1,250 IUs per week. And then what I'm going to do is just track my estrogen with my highly tuned estrogen test kit. And see, that's the way I try to look at negatives. You got to take your negatives and turn them into positives. So some guys out there have the ability to run really high amounts of estrogen and supposedly have no side effects. You do, you just don't have gyno, like I was saying. I don't really need to go to the doctor to get my blood work done because I have nipples. And they're very, very highly fucking tuned to estrogen. So when my estrogen starts getting out of range, my nipples will be the first things in my body to let me know. And then I can start tinkering with doses. So if I start getting nipple sensitivity at the current dose, then I will go up slightly on the Masteron. If I don't get nipple sensitivity in the next couple of weeks on the current dose, then I will go up on the testosterone until I do. So I'm going to tinker with the test and the Masteron until we narrow in on the highest dose of whichever drug will get me to just south of nipple sensitivity, and then I will know that my E2 is right where I want it to be, as long as I'm having the consistent morning wood, the ravenous sexual appetite, you know, like all of the things that I've said numerous times in many videos are all of the signs and symptoms that I'm looking for. So there you have it. I have no idea where this cycle is going, but so far it has gone better than I could have ever fucking dreamed of. To be at 206.2 pounds is amazing. This morning I woke up at 205. So if things go well today, I could possibly be at 208 pounds by the end of this evening, which again would be just another phenomenal roadblock destroyed in the route to what seemed like an impossible 210 pounds. So despite the fact that I think I have COVID, my plan for the evening is to go do arms, and I will probably take at least 10, maybe 15 milligrams of Anavar and a Red Bull or energy drink of some kind in order to get the necessary energy to go and kill a workout. Obviously, I do not recommend anyone do what I'm suggesting to do. I don't ever recommend anyone do any of the insane shit that I do. Do not run steroids at all. Definitely do not run steroids full fucking time like an absolute moron like I do. Again, I've been trying to drive that point home more and more recently because, you know, the one thing definitely does not look like the other. You guys that are here listening to me talk about my experiences for the purposes of cycling, and now I'm morphing into a world-class idiot who just lives on blast year-round. And dude, I'm not gonna last long like this. So please stop talking to me in the comments about longevity, this or that. Clearly, I don't give a shit. If I did, I wouldn't be on blast fucking year-round. So I'm not telling anybody this is a good idea. That's the other thing, like, you know, when I'm looking at Stan Lee or Kurt, I think it's Havens or whatever, like, Stan Lee's like a doctor, huh? Todd Lee and Kurt Havens. I've been saying Stan Lee this whole time, haven't I? Who is Stan Lee?
I can't think who that is.
Isn't he like a fucking cartoonist?
I don't remember.
I think Stan Lee wrote South Park, didn't he? It's a good thing if I shit talk somebody, I don't even use the right name. I wasn't trying to shit talk any of these guys. They all seem very intelligent. It was very, very refreshing to watch some of their videos because 9 times out of 10, the people who argue my points don't have 1/1000th of the chemistry background or the medical background that these guys have. But Todd Lee and Kurt Havens, there was another guy on there. He was like, I don't even know, the parabolic something. I have no idea why he was even there. These guys are both clearly intelligent. They both know more than a couple of things about endocrinology, our bodies, bodybuilding. But the thing that makes me different than them is like Kurt Lee's like an MD. Kurt Lee. I cannot do this. Todd Lee is like an MD of something, and then like if you go to Kurt Havens' Instagram, it says PhDC Endo, which means he's a PhD candidate in endocrinology. He doesn't have a PhD because he hasn't done his dissertation. And like, he seems like a really nice guy, really intelligent. Like, I don't understand really the people that like to wave around credentials. Because when you do that, I feel like it backs you into a corner where now you have a reputation that you have to uphold. I don't have any reputation. I'm not a fucking MD, PhD. Actually, I do have a PhD. I just found out that it's not illegal to say that you're a doctor even when you're not one. So like, I think I have like a PhD in professional steroidology. Or maybe I have an MD in BS. I have a doctorate in bullshit. Which is all, to me, that's all these credentials are. It's like, congratulations, you read a book, you took some fucking tests. Now you have these credentials. I don't know why, like, I don't know why they mean anything. You know, you don't need a PhD or an MD or a PhDC or to fucking jab yourself with needles and like take notes and learn things. Like, it doesn't take any of this to be able to go like, and we're all reading the same data. They don't have access to any data that I don't have access to. We're all reading the same fucking bullshit data. We're all on Reddit, you know? We're all buying shit from fucking third-party sources that we hope is what it is. We're all trying to figure out how our unique anatomy works comparable or relative to somebody else. We're all trying to figure out, you know, why certain things do what they do, and it's like fucking impossible because they, you know, one drug works one way in one person and a totally different way in another person. And, you know, some guy takes fucking Red Bull to get wings and go to the gym, and I take Red Bull to get Z's and go to sleep. It's like, it's like the entire medical community is just bullshit. Like, it's clearly just bullshit. There's like no real good, definitive anything. It's all just speculation and maybes and probabilities, and so I don't know, like, I don't get it, man, but I never professed to be anything other than a fucking human guinea pig idiot who was just like fucking realized that there was no good data out there and everybody was lying about all the shit that they were taking. So it was like, fuck it, like, I'm just gonna try some shit and talk about it. And so if somebody proves me wrong, it's like, cool, I would love to get proven wrong. I would love for one of these guys to make a video on one of my videos and prove like, you know, definitively that I'm completely full of shit, that I've missed the fucking boat on something. That would be awesome. Like, I'm fucking always open to learning new information. So you guys went out and, you know, you paid to become doctors, and you paid to become PhDCs. Now give me some education. Give back to the community. Tell me all of these things that you learned at Wayne University about how fucking Masteron is a SERM and exactly how that works. Because as far as I can tell, nobody at university knows anything more than any of the rest of us fucking jackasses that are out here just fucking guinea pigging ourselves in our fucking, in our bathrooms every night. So, I guess maybe that looks good if you're, I don't know, man, like, you can make a lot more money coaching, I guess, if you have an MD next to your name, but I don't know. It is what it is. There you have it, guys. I'm going to try to maintain some energy tonight and get out some more content. As you can tell, I haven't been making any what it's like to go to prison videos lately. Once you get to the camp part of the thing, it's kind of boring, but I'm going to try to get that out for some of you guys. I'm gonna try to stay awake long enough to do anything today. The other thing that I'm going through, I'm having it right now, like with this estrogen up and down, the hot flashes, dude, are horrific. Like, I'm having hot flashes at night that wake me up out of my sleep and make me think that I'm dying. Like, it feels like I just spiked a super acute fever. And it makes me feel like my internal organs must be fucking just cooking in there, because out of the blue, I'll just be super fucking baked from the inside out. So the hot flashes are terrible. I'm not having night sweats, but that's probably only because I kick the covers off and just blast myself with the fan until the hot flash goes away. Then I pull all the covers back up, and then like 30 minutes later, I'm having another hot flash. I don't know what the fuck's going on in my body. I don't know if that's the estrogen fluctuations, the MK's doing something crazy, the just combination of all the shit that I'm on, fucking with all of these different, pathways in the body. I don't know. But it's been a ride, and I'm going to keep you guys in the loop on it to the best of my ability. So I'm going to cut it there. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.